communications as a first generation college graduate. She has learned skills in the communication field that will help her with her postgraduate job. Innovative, she intended to use these skills she has developed to be not a well-rounded student pilot, but also a well-trained air pilot. Now, as a alumni of Wingate University, Michelle holds pride in the major marks she left on campus by way of her heavy campus involvement as a student at Wingate University. She worked as an ambassador. Bullock's Gate, first generation college students mentor, Unity House multicultural central assistant. She also will have the lasting effect of being able to be the co-founder of the Plant Positive Club. Michelle maintained all these obligations while still managing to land on the president's list and dean's list multiple semesters. Currently, Michelle is researching and applying to various flight school and academies around the country in order to be a pilot, so that one day she might fly all over the world and see what life is all about.
Yeah. So now we have our speaker, Ms. Michelle Rudd. And let me tell you, she's a bubbly person. She came right in and started talking.
I'll probably walk around a little bit. So
Go right ahead.
use the mic anyways. And I kind of speak kind of loud.
Do it your way.
Oh, what?
Do it your way.
I might stop somewhere, I don't really know yet.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I don't really think I need it.
Well, I got me some New Year's still today, so maybe.
Do it your way.
Well, first, I just want to thank Adelia for my introduction. Sorry it was kind of long, but Adelia is actually my little sister's best friend. I had no idea whenever I first met her. But I am very honored to be here today to celebrate all of these young students. Whenever Monty first asked me to come speak at this event, I had no idea that I was going to be the main speaker. I thought I was going to be one of many speakers because that's all I've ever really done. I've done a lot of like spoken words or poetry, and that's just always kind of been my thing. And so doing this was something different, and I wasn't really sure why he chose me to speak because I didn't know what I had to offer and what I could offer young people. But I like to journal, and every day at the end of my night, I write down my goals, what inspired me, what I'm grateful for, what went well today, and what I learned. And another thing I do is I write down a prompt, and my prompt for the other day was, what is my purpose? And when I read this question, I was very questionable because I kind of laughed a little bit because it seemed like such a deep question, and I didn't really know what my purpose was. But after some more researching, I think that my purpose is to inspire. So I hope that I can inspire at least one young person in this room to move forward towards their dreams. So I'm going to do that by just kind of telling my story. So you guys might have heard my bio. I am a first-generation college student. That is my mother back there. She's a wonderful single mother of 7 children. And 7 children, yes. And I am the first one in my family to go to college, including aunts, uncles, grandmothers, everybody. And in high school, I was not really interested in college or interested in sports, extracurriculars. I was just kind of going through the motions. All I wanted to do was graduate. And I remember I was talking to some of my friends about what university they were going to go to. And that was something I never really thought about. That wasn't really something I ever really wanted to do. But to join the conversation, I just kind of spit out Wingate because they've been blowing out my email. And that was just the first college that came to my mind. And just saying that was like a nail in the box to my future. And I just really appreciated this conversation because had I not had friends that had dreams, that were motivated, and that really wanted to do something more with themselves, I probably would have never went to school. But just having people around me that really made a difference in my life. And I wanted to keep up this whenever I went on to university. I wanted to make sure that I chose friends and chose partners and chose people that would hold me accountable. And I say this because my entire first year of college, I was just kind of having fun. I really wasn't there to do anything specific. Like I said, I never really wanted to be there in the first place. But I had friends and I was just playing around. And one thing about it, if anybody's ever went to college here, you start off in college with like a bunch of friends. You have this big friend group, and then slowly they trickle, and then you have like 2 or 3. And I was very happy with my 2 or 3 because they held me accountable. If it was days where I was in bed sleeping until 12 o'clock, they would come in, knock my door down, like, what are you doing? Let's go study. Like, you have stuff to do. And I went into college undetermined. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just kind of there, and that was enough for me. I was just happy to be in college, and I was just exploring classes. And before I knew it, I was halfway through college. I was on my sophomore year, and I still hadn't chosen a major. So I was like, uh-oh. So I ended up choosing pharmacy, and why I chose pharmacy, I couldn't tell you. It was just like, I was gonna make a lot of money, and it's in the medical field, so everybody would be proud of me. And I started taking my classes, and I had the worst grades I've ever had in my life. First class I ever failed was chemistry, and then I took it again the next semester, and then I failed again, and then I took it again the next semester, and then I passed it with a D, and then I failed anatomy and physiology, and so I was going through it, and I tried to relate all of these failures in these classes to the failures of myself. And I realized that it was the content is what I didn't like. So if I did not like the content, I was not going to be willing to try and study it. So I wasn't really asking for help. I just told myself I was just going to keep on going in this because I didn't want to tell anybody, because I didn't want to be labeled as a failure. But what I should have done is just talk to somebody, because if anybody was to call me worthless, I should have known that I was worth it. And if anybody would have tried to deem me hopeless, I could have known that I was hopeful and optimistic. And if any statistics should say I was stupid because I was failing all these classes, I could have still said I was successful because I did not stop. And I knew that the choice was mine to keep on going. So, I'm gonna break it down like this. So, there's this story that I like about this father who's teaching his son how to drive a car. And the father told his son, there might be some things we come across that you might not know about or that might be scary, but all you can do is listen to my voice. And I feel that that's where a lot of success in this life comes. It's just by listening to the voices that are around you. And he told him, as soon as he got on the highway, it seemed like a storm immediately started happening. And the son looked at his dad and he said, keep on driving. And some cars started to pull over because the rain started to get heavier. And the son looked to his dad and he said, Dad, should I pull over? Dad said, no, just keep on driving. You ever been on the road and the rain just gets so heavy to the point where you can't see 2 feet in front of you? The rain gets to that point on the road, the tractor trailer's trying to pull over, the son's like, Dad, like seriously, I gotta pull over. His dad's like, no, son, just keep on driving. And they eventually get through it, they get through the storm. It took some time, it was definitely difficult, but they get there. And as soon as the rain started to lessen up, the dad looks to him and he says, all right, now you can pull over. And the son's looking at him crazy, because it's like, you ever had your parents tell you something and it seems like it makes absolutely no sense? And so he finally pulls over and he tells him to get out of the car. And the dad says, now look behind you and tell me what you see back there. And the son said, all right, I see some clouds, a couple cars. And dad said, no, son, I want you to look closer. See, what happened today to you on the road is what happens to a lot of people in their life. They stopped, all those cars out there, they stopped. They're still stuck in their storm. But since you kept on driving, you have made it out of your storm. And I want to let y'all know how I made it out of my storm and failing all those classes. So I got a job as a Lightstream ambassador, which is basically somebody who checks people into various events at my school. We have a lot of guest speakers, and we have to see 24 guest speakers before we graduate. And one of the random guest speakers I just happened to work in this event for, her name was Annika Verspa, and she was also a Wingate University alumni. And she was talking about how you can use a degree that you don't know what to do with. So she was a marketing major, and she went to school to do something in the marketing field. But when she got out in the real world, she realized that she absolutely hated it, and now she had this degree, and it stuck for her, and I just related to her in a lot of ways. And she was talking about all these little different aviation facts, and she talked about how she used her degree and went on to flight school. And I was like, wow, like that is really interesting, because I've always noticed every time I travel, my favorite part of traveling is being at the airport, going through the airport, going on the plane. And I stayed after and I talked to her for a while, and she told me about a discovery flight, which is basically where you can go to almost any airport and they'll take you up on a flight and you can basically just like learn how to fly. And so I did that. About a week later, I like rushed to do it because I was like anything to try to get me out of this pharmacy thing. And I absolutely loved it. It was incredible. And I was very nervous to tell my family and my friends about my change of heart in my career because for whatever reason, I thought that people would not be proud of that because it's not the medical field. So it just couldn't be okay. And everybody was more proud of me than ever that I was finally following my heart and doing something that actually made me happy. And upon switching to communications, I switched my major just so I could finish out my degree. And I had better grades, and my attitude immediately changed. I got a lot more involved on campus. I started my own club with my best friends so we could share some positivity around the campus and also educate people on houseplants because that's kind of my thing. I'm a plantee. And I also joined a diversity, equity, and inclusion club so we can spread some diversity because my school was a PWI, so it was very difficult to find that, so I wanted to make sure people had a safe space on my campus. And then I became a mentor to also first-generation college students like myself. And even though I got my degree, I still had a dream. And it seems like after I got my degree, everybody was always like, congratulations, congratulations, I'm so proud of you. What's next? And we always hear that question, whether you're in high school, whether you're in 8th grade, whatever it is, it's always, what's next, what's next, what you gonna do now? For me, what's next is I want to be one of less than 150 Black female airline pilots. There's very few. And as we celebrate you guys in this room, some of you are graduates. We're all graduating something at some point in our life. No matter what grade we're in, no matter how old we are always graduating to our next journey, to our next success. And it's never really over. There's always something next. So don't let that question make you feel bad or make you feel like you're not doing anything else. Even if you don't want to go to college or don't want to do whatever else, what's next for you is just more success. And outside of my career aspirations, in my downtime, I like to roller skate. Roller skating has always been my thing. That's one of the things I discovered after I got myself happy at school. And my best friend, she used to roller skate too. And I didn't have a car. I also didn't have a license. And I felt really bad about that being in college because I'm 22 years old right now. And once I graduated college a month ago, I came back home and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna roller skate? And the closest roller rink is all the way in Myrtle Beach. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna roller skate, then I need to get my license and I need to get a car. And again, I'm 22 years old, so I just wanna let y'all know, don't let anybody make you feel bad about being on your own timeline because you can't be so hard on yourself if you're the one setting the goals. You cannot bring yourself down on a goal that you set, on a deadline that you set. And so I finally got my license. I got my license 4 days ago, y'all. 4 days ago. So, yeah, and that was not easy either. I failed the written test the first time, and I failed the driving test the first time as well. But I got both of them the second try. So, yeah, that's why we're out there with the temporary tag, because I'm working on it. But yeah, I have it in the car, I just haven't put it on yet. But yeah, that's me. But I say that just to say that I overcame, and I'm sure that all of you guys here can do the same. And interesting quote of mine that I really like from Van Gogh, he says that if you tell yourself you cannot paint, the only way to silence that critical voice is to paint. And I want you guys to know that if you find yourself searching for a role model and a blueprint, then you should just look in the mirror because the success that you're looking for will be in the mirror. The inspiration that you're looking for will be in the mirror. And everything you're trying to look for in the mirror is all in yourself. And I want you guys to all stop searching and start succeeding. Stop wishing and start winning. Stop pretending and start preparing. Stop receding and start rising. And a quote that was repeated over and over at my college graduation, I thought it was kind of funny at first, but I kind of like it, is, well, I already know what I'm about to say, is the main thing is to always keep the main thing the main thing. And what that means is whatever you're focusing on, always make sure you are always focusing on that because it is the main thing in your life, so just keep it going. So if there's anything you remember from me today, if you get out of here and you forget every single thing I said today, first of all, shame on you, but don't do that. But make it happen. Whatever you want to do in life, make it happen. If you want to be a doctor, make it happen. If you want to go be an artist, make it happen. If you want to be a chef, make it happen. The same God who created mountains and the ocean thought this world needed you. I need you guys to always remember that. So, it has been a pleasure to speak with you guys all today, and I'll be hanging out for a while after this is over if anybody wants to talk to me. So, congratulations.
because